Turn the lights back on. Wow. Retro electro tech. When real audio ruled the world.
Greetings once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is Retro Ernest of Retro Electro Tech. And here I am on another bench in the shop, my Jimi Hendrix bench. And I'm working on this Magnavox Micromatic once again. I had to set it aside for a little bit because about a week or so back, I installed the cartridge and the new cartridge, and got everything back together. And I was just about to go into the final setup and testing and so forth, but I ended up with a defective a stylus, and I didn't have an extra one in the shop, so I ordered a couple more, and I just received them a few days or so back. So I've been very busy, but I'm getting back to this. But anyways, also too, it's funny how I just wanted to bring this up, how different models of these Micromatics, or even identical models across the board, will have their own little quirks as far as when performing a restoration. Some will just cooperate. I disassemble everything and all the individual parts and properly clean everything when it's disassembled and relubricate everything to factory spec, get everything back together, make all the final adjustments and tweaks, and no problem. But some turntables will fight you, even identical models. And perhaps some of it could be little variations in manufacturing tolerances, although I think more so than that, it's just the way things just kind of wear and tear over the years. And the wear and tear, I mean, how individual mechanisms will just kind of wear a little bit different over the years, and sometimes certain adjustments will be a little bit more finicky than others, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. So this one, the point being is, it kind of fought me on on a few different things. Nothing major, just little stuff, and I had to go back under a time or two and tweak around a little bit. And the set down was a little funny, and I had to tweak it a little bit more than other times that I've worked on other units, Micromatics and so forth. But anyways, so I'm back at it, and everything's looking pretty good. I'm going to be testing it in the shop for a bit. I want to make sure that this thing is going to work exactly the way it should before this thing is packaged up and shipped off. So anyways, what I'm going to do right now is set the tracking force, and I talked about that just in a previous video, I think a few days or so back, whatever. And I mentioned that before I do that, and if you're going to do any kind of a setup, you always want to make sure that the turntable is level, of course. And as I said in the other video as well, your turntable should be leveled off anyways in just normal everyday operation. So I pointed out as well that I own different types of turntable levels, but I seem to always gravitate toward my good old trusty little level here. And anyways, this should just be leveled off. And you want to, when you're using this type of level, you want to check it on a few different planes. It's right dead center there. I don't know if you can see that. Of course, I'm coming in at an angle, so it's going to look a little bit off, but it's dead center, and I don't want to move the tripod at this point. I'm going to in a little bit when I get into some other areas of adjustment. But anyways, it's right on the money. And then let me go ahead and back this out. And then you just want to check the leveling of the turntable on this plane as well. And let me just get my head over here, and we're looking good. So everything's looking nice with this turntable, and as far as leveling goes, and that's important. So anyways, let me go ahead and get into setting the tracking force, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit to the platter. Okay, and today we are going to set the tracking force of this cartridge slash stylus using this analog scale here, or gauge. And tracking force meaning the downward weight or downward pressure exerted by the tone arm, the cartridge, the stylus into the record groove. Okay, so these are very accurate for what they are. Sure, it's not going to give you the digital readout that a digital scale like this one will, but you know, it's just fine. It holds its own just fine, and it also comes with a 5-gram calibration weight. This is for the other one, but whatever. It comes with its own weight that sits in a little compartment on the back, and I've calibrated it. It's right on the money. It's just fine. So, anywho, I'm going to be setting the tracking force at 3.5 grams. I already have it set, and you just set it using this dial here. And the little center screw you see there, the little silver center screw, is for calibration when you're going through that process. But I'm not going to get into that because this video obviously isn't about the, you know, the gauge, the scale. But I just thought I'd bring that out anyways. So the difference with this this particular scale here is that you want to have this actual scale portion here hanging over the edge of the platter. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set it down. The thing about these scales, before I actually do that, is because they are mechanical, sometimes you have to overcome, you know, a little bit of the mechanical friction and just make sure that, you know, when you set the and let me kneel down so I can see and make sure that I have everything lined up okay. So when I drop this down, I don't want to be too gentle when I drop it down. I don't want to raise it way up and then drop it, but I want to make sure that, you know, I get enough momentum to overcome any friction in the mechanism of the scale. You know, after all, it is a mechanical, you know, analog scale. So there we go. Okay. So when I look directly overhead, and I'm going to do that real quick. Let me show you guys. Okay, so I'm trying to hold steady here. I'm handheld because I don't have a boom to get this little camera directly over, but hopefully you can see that it's spot on 3.5 grams. So anyways, there you go. That's how it's done, nothing to it. So this is pretty cool using the scale. I like to use it because you know, I'm confident in using the scale because it's accurate for what it is. And this is a scale that would have been used, you know, during this era that this turntable was, you know, was in production, you know, scale like this. And these little Girard scales were widely used. They were kind of, you know, kind of popular, kind of the standard of scales that people would have used to set their tracking force back in the day. These were in shops all over the place. So there you go. So anyways, what I'm going to do is move forward and let's give it a little bit of a test run.
Make the sound. This is a poor man's shoe production.